In today's video, we're going to talk about 8 things I wish I knew before moving to Australia. 9 years ago, when I began my journey here in Australia, I was always thinking, I wish someone would have told me everything that I know now back then. Which is why I'm here to share my experiences and teach you what you need to know before you even move to Australia. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, plan your pathway. This is the most important thing that you need to know before you even go to Australia. The problem is, a lot of people out there, especially the ones that I knew when I was a student, thought that coming into the country on a student visa and hoping that someone will sponsor you through work is a plan. I'm sorry, but that's just not the case, because a plan needs to be detailed. Now, you could see them having this kind of a plan, but their actions is completely not aligned, which is why they were not able to move to Australia. The problem with their plan is, since their plans are not detailed, they are more likely to fall into certain jobs which is not aligned to their end goal. That is why we need to make sure that when we're picking a pathway, we do have a detailed plan, a step-by-step guide on how you could go from the first visa to a permanent residency or citizenship in the long run. Now, an example for this is, if you're going to go through the route of work or employment, then you need to have a proper educational background, which is coming from your student visa, then your work experience, which means your main job or your first job, or even the job that you currently have or had back in your country is in line with the work that you're going to do here in Australia and with the skill that you're going to use to have a residency in the future. Now, I've actually created a video of this and I'll link it down below so that you can watch it later. Number 2, prepare your mindset. Moving into a different country is always difficult, especially the ones that you don't know much about. Now, the very first thing that you need to know is that everything is different. So you need to make sure that your mindset is strong so that you can come and face every challenges that's gonna come to you. And believe it or not, there will be a lot of times where you're going to be tested. Now, before I came to Australia, I have a best friend who was living here who told me all the good things about Australia and how great the life here is, not knowing that there will be multiple challenges along my pathway when I come here, which is why you need to make sure that you are prepared. Now, it might be because you're going to go through multiple work. Now, your grit needs to be strong so that you can do whatever it takes to get through your end goal, which may be a permanent residency or a citizenship. Next thing on the list, which is number 3, is arrange your accommodation early. Now, this is the current problem in Australia. We have a housing crisis, which means there's also a rental crisis. There's a lot of people, but not enough housing to put them all in, which means your rent would be higher than when you have an oversupply of accommodation. Now, I know people who had to pay $800 a week on motels while they're finding their more permanent accommodation, which is why you need to make sure that before you even land to Australia, you already have a place that you're going to move into. Just a word of advice, there are instances where you do need to pay someone so that they can help you find an accommodation here in Australia before you even get here. But make sure that it's not a scam. If you need some help on accommodation, comment down below. I might be able to help you. Number 4, build your network. You need people around you. No one does it alone. Now, when you're trying to build your network, remember that you're not here to only isolate yourself and build network within people that came from your country or the same culture. You need to make sure that you assimilate with the locals because they will be the one who's going to help you out in the future. If you don't try to build lasting relationships with the locals, what will happen is you're gonna stay on your comfort zone, you're going to miss out on opportunities, and you're gonna miss out on your personal growth and financial growth for the future. Number 5, arrange your schedule. I came here to finish my master's degree, which is why I needed to make sure that my class schedules are all in line with what I needed to do. Now, hot tip for this, you need to check if there's certain classes on your course that allows you to take it during nighttime. This is one way that you can consolidate all your schedule within a 2-day to 3-day time frame. Now, if you're able to do this and put all your schedule from a 2 to 3-day time frame, then you're gonna be able to find more opportunities when you look for your job. Which leads us to our number 6 on the list, which is finding your job or side hustles. If you're on a student visa, you need to make sure that you know your work hours. Picking your main job is very important because this main job that you're going to take on should be in line with your future goals. If you're going to use the work pathway to migrate here in Australia, then your main job should be where you're going to build your career so that your experience will be counted in the future for your skilled assessment, which will lead you into permanent residency or citizenship. Now, once you have unlimited work hours, then you might want to consider side hustles or other jobs. Now, one suggestion for second job would be to find a work where they give you free staff meals. This will help you a lot when you're trying to make budget. If you can't find a job in a restaurant or a hotel, then you might want to consider gig work such as your Uber Eats, or Amazon delivery. Another one is through online income. You could either provide service or sell products online, which will give you a lot of income in the future. Number 7, doing your own visa. Now, this part is risky, but it can be done. You need to make sure that you're the type of person who knows how to read the letter of the law, especially with migration. Hiring a migration agent is quite expensive. In my case, I was able to do it on my own except for the initial visa, which is my student visa coming here to Australia. But it can be done. You can actually do it on your own because you don't want to take the risk. My case is just completely different. If you need some suggestion on migration agencies, comment down below. I'll give you a refer. Last but not the least is budget. Now, the main thing that I would tell you about budget is to make sure that you have your expenses in check. Now, one way to do your budgets is to do it reverse. First, you put in your expenses, classify it in 2 aspects. 1 is your current expenses and 2 is your scheduled or future expenses. For your current expenses, you need to factor in your accommodation, your transportation, your food. Those are the 3 basic things that you need to pay for here in Australia. According to statistics, these 3 major expenses are where all households spend their money on. And to help you guys out in this matter, I will create a video on extreme ways on how you can save later on. The other aspect would be your future expenses. This is basically your visas. Visas costs a lot, so you need to make sure that you do that in your budget. The second thing would be is your tuition fee. Once you've got all those covered, and see if you need income outside of your main job. And those are 8 things I wish I knew before moving to Australia. Let's do a recap, shall we? Planning your pathway, preparing your mindset, arranging for accommodation, build your network, arrange your schedule, find a job and side hustles, do your own visa if you can. Number 8 is budget. And these are the 8 things I wish I knew before moving to Australia. If I knew this back then, I would have saved a lot more money avoided stress, and grow faster personally and financially. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what's one thing you wish you knew before moving to Australia.